Hello and welcome, students. Today we are going to begin a new chapter, chapter number 8. It's Mijbil the otter. Before we go through, Mijbil is a name. An otter is a kind of a water animal that lives on in water and on land too. It's written by mostly, first of all, it's not an imaginary story, it's a life experience, a real life experience about the writer himself. And it's the author is Gavin Maxwell. Gavin Maxwell had a dog as a pet, whom he loved very much. But and the other thing is that Maxwell lived in the country of Scotland. After a few years of his friendship with the dog ultimately died, and Maxwell could not take that. He felt really very, very sad, sorry for the dog, and then he never thought of keeping a dog as a pet. So, what happens now in the story as we go through? Because there's a lot of difference between a dog and a otter. What kind of experience the writer had is depicted in the story. So, let's begin the chapter Mijbil the otter. Early in the new year of 1956, keep the date in mind, it's 1956, I traveled to southern Iraq. Now, the writer had traveled to Iraq, that's very far away from his native place. By then, it had crossed my mind. Crossed my mind means a thought came into his mind that I should like to keep an otter instead of a dog, and that Chemisphena ringed ringed my by water a stone throw means a very short distance from its door, would be an eminently suitable spot for his experiment. So for his job he had to go to Iraq for certain kind of his work. When I casually mentioned this to a friend, now he's talking this to a friend of his, and when he mentioned this thing to him, he as casually replied that I had better get one of the Tigris marshes. Now, Tigris marshes is also, first of all, we should keep in mind, is in Iraq, that we have to keep in mind. And now the author was thinking of keeping an otter as a pet. Now, what happens? Slowly, we'll go through it. For there, they were as common as mosquitoes. So his friend said that otters are very, very common there, just like mosquitoes are common everywhere. So, but in Europe, you won't find any otters. And he was living, the author was living in an European country. So there, otters are very common to be found, and were often tamed by the Arabs. And the Arabic people tamed them because, as we know, that Iraq is an Arabic country. We were going to Basra to the Consulate General to collect and answer our mail from Europe. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind that we are talking about 1956. The word mail has been used is, you have to keep in mind, not the email that we are using right now, but the mail in a written form, in a letter form. So they had to collect that and they had to go there to answer the mail from Europe. At the Consulate General, we found that my friend's mail had arrived, but that mine had not. Now, he and his friend both went there. Some situation occurred that his friend's mail, they got the friends, his friend had the mail, but the writer's mail was not there. He did not receive it. Mine had not. I cabled to England. Cable means send a message by a telegram. Now that is also, we have to keep in mind that um, in olden days telegrams were used because the communication means of communications like we use today, messages, emails, fax were not used. A telegram was used that was delivered a bit uh, at a greater speed than as compared to a letter, and very short messages were delivered through a telegram. So he cabled means he telegrammed it to England, and when 3 days later nothing had happened, I tried to telephone, but no, he got no reply. So he decided to telephoned. The call had to be booked 24 hours in advance. See, we are talking about 1956. Today it's very easy to call throughout the world, anywhere, with the help of a mobile phone, with your cell phone. But previously, if you had to call outside the country to somewhere else other than your country, you had to book your call first of all in the exchange office, and they used to connect your phone, not instantly. It took many times, 1 day, 2 day, or 3 days after they used to call you, and they used to say that now you can call from your telephone and now you can talk. So these were the things that happened. So I tried to telephone. The call had to be booked 24 hours in advance. One On the first day, the line was out of order. Means the line, when we say the word line, means the telephone. Actually, they were phone. The communication was done through wires. There were telephone wires throughout, and so the line. If the line break by any kind of accident, the line used to break, then the telephone service would stop. Then they would to go and repair those wires, and again it would restart. So the line was out of order, and the second the exchange was closed. There was an office special who used to do this, and when there were holidays, they used to close their office. Then you could not call anywhere. Closed for a religious holiday. On the third day, there was another breakdown. Again, there was a breakdown, so it was delayed too much. My friend and I arranged to meet him in a week's time. 5 days later, my mail arrived. See, so 5 days later, the mail arrived. It took 5 days. I carried it to my bedroom to read, and there, squatted on the floor, were two Arabs. Besides them lay a sack that squirmed. Squirmed means twisted about, means was moving from time to time. Now, as he entered his room, he saw that two Arabs were waiting in the room. Two Arabic people were waiting, and they had a sack, and in that sack was moving a bit. They handed me a note from my friend. Here is your order, and one of his friend had gifted him that order, and they told that, here, this is your order, and they gave him the bag. Now we come to the second part of the chapter. With the opening of that sack began a phase of my life that had not yet ended. Now the writer says that as I opened that sack, a new chapter started in my life. It began because lots of adventure is now going to come through. So he says that had not yet ended, and he says that yet the adventure is on, and may, for all I know, not end before I do. It is in effect a thraldom means an old fashioned being under the control of, means when you are under the control of something. Two, otter and otter fixation. Fixation means very strong bonding attachment with something that mostly we have with pets. There is fixation. It comes from the word fix. Fix means to stick. That I have since found to be shared by most other peoples who have ever owned one. And he says that, and chapter started in my life, and the adventure that I had with that otter, only the person, those who have otter for those who have a pet otter, they would understand it better, because it was really very amazing. The creature that emerged from this sack. Now the writer says that the creature that emerged sack from this sack onto the spontaneous tiled floor of the consulate bedroom resembled most of all a very small medieval conceived dragon. Now, here is a very difficult word that has been used. Medieval means an importance of the which has the importance in the Middle Age. conceived dragon, and the writer gives him the name conceived dragon, means he was just like a small dragon from the medieval age. From the head to the tip of the tail, means the entire uh, otter is talking about, from the head to the tail, he was coated with symmetrical pointed scales of mud armor. Now he says that the otters actually live in water also, so they have the skin on their body which is very soft, and it's just like oily, so that the water does roll down and it doesn't stay, so they don't remain wet continuously. So symmetrical point, and they are very pointed shape, and it is very pointed shaped, so that the water can just roll over the mud also. If they are outside, it will just not stay on him. So, and a mud armor means he was dirty, full of mud, and as if he was wearing an armor which is made up of iron. It seemed like that, between whose tips were visible a soft velvet fur like that of a chocolate brown mole, and inside that they could see the otter as if he was in made up of a brown chocolate. He shook himself, and I half expected a cloud of dust. And when the otter came out, it started just like the dogs do when they are dirty, or when they are wet, they shake their entire body very fast, rapidly, and to remove all the water or the dust. The same thing the otter also did. And when it did, there was lots of dust in the hotel room where he was living. But in fact, it was not for another month that I managed to remove the last of the mud and see the otter. So the writer said that it took me almost a month to clean him, to make him bath every day, and to wash him, and to make him clean. But after a month, I could see what his original color was, what his real color was, because I was cleaning him for a month, and that managed to remove the last of the mud, all the mud that was inside him. It took me a month to remove him and see the otter, and then I could see his original, the real color, as it were in the true color. Now he could see the true color of the otter. Mijbil, as I called the otter, was in fact of a rare, previously unknown to science. And the writer says that, the author says that, was in fact of a rare, previously unknown to science, and was at length christened by zoologist. Now here he says that it was like finding the otter was as if it belonged to a new species which was not found up till now, and it was something new. The author says so, and he said that he would christian him. Christian him means to give him a new name. That's when you give a name is known as a christian. And by zoologists. Zoologists are mostly the people who study animals. So here the writer says that was the name was Liturgale persipicillata Maxwell, or Maxwell's otter. So this was the name that he coined him, and he put him as Maxwell's otter because he thought that this was a new species and a name had to be given. So he named it Maxwell's otter. For the first 24 hours, Midwell was neither hostile. So now the writer says that for the first, when the Arabs left him in the room, and now the otter was with the otter, he said that for the first 24 hours, Minville was neither hostile nor friendly. Means he was hostile means he was not very angry, unfriendly, but not even very friendly to the author. He was simply aloof and indifferent. Aloof and indifferent means keeping distance, staying away, not being very close to him. So the writer says that he did not bother much, aloof and indifferent, choosing to sleep on the floor as far from my bed as possible. And the author used to sleep away from the author and stayed as far as possible from the other. The second night, Mitchell came on to my bed in the small hours and remained asleep in the crook of my knees until the servant brought the tea in the morning, and during the day he began to lose his empathy. Empathy means absence of interest, and take a much too keen interest in his surrounding. So, what does this line mean? That first of all, he was staying away from the writer because he himself was new to the writer. Now he was in that room, and there were only two people. He did not know the author also. He was not being friendly with the author. But slowly, as time passed, and the writer says that slowly he started jumping and came onto my bed, sleeping just next to my feet, and came to my bed, sleeping next to my knees. And when the servant came in the hotel to give him tea in the morning, he now was the time that he started losing interest because he was also very curious. Those many hours were enough for him. He moved around the room and discovered everything. Now he is getting bored because he had lost interest now. What to do new, and he was tired now, and to take much more keen interest in his surrounding. I made I made a body belt for him and took him on a leg to the bathroom, where for a half an hour he went wild with joy in the water. So now, when the writer took him to the bath, and obviously an otters do love water because most of the time they spend is in water. They rarely come out of the water from the rivers where they that is the natural place where they live. So when he saw the water, he was very much excited and was full of joy. He went wild with joy in the water, plunging and rolling in it. He started jumping and rolling in the water, enjoying the water, shooting up and down the length of the bathtub. Now, there was a bathtub in the hotel, so the writer placed him there, and he started swimming in the bathtub here and there, to and fro, underwater, and making enough slosh and splash for a hippo. And just like the hippo goes into the water and comes out, and the same thing, he enjoyed so much that he was going underwater, coming out, making splashes of water, throwing water here and there from the bathtub. This I was to learn is a characteristics of otter. As I told you that this is the characteristics of otter. They love water and they enjoy swimming in the water. Every drop of water must be, so to speak, extended and spread about the place. And the writer says that every drop of water until the all the water from the bathtub used to splash out, throw out each and every drop until he used to throw out. He was not satisfied, and he says that spread about the place, and everywhere he used to drop that water, the bowl must at once be overturned, and whenever he was given the food, he used to overturn it. Or if it will not be overturned, he sat in and splashed it in until it overflow. So he used to sit inside, uh, overflow the water. No, overflow the water everywhere. Water must be kept on the move and made to do things when static. It is wasted and provoking. Provoking means causing anger. So that was what he did with the water. He used to splash it until and unless he played with the water throughout. He was not at all satisfied. Means he continuously played with the water.